Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new vid of Fox Reacts. Today we got a brand new vid from Connie X about giving the Frontier Digimon corrupt Digivolutions. Let's hop in and see just which Digimon are now the Digimon.
Digimon Frontier turned 20 years old this month. I feel like Matt Damon at the end of Saving Private Ryan.
I am just 1 year older than that. Wow.
And so to celebrate, I am continuing to dedicate a bunch of videos to that season.
Awesome.
And as everyone who remembers when Frontier comes out probably feels like a skeleton right now, today we're turning to the dark, the twisted, the corrupted. That's right, everybody, we're giving
Speaking of corruption, I gotta fix this visual. Give me a moment. Alright, that's to do it.
Corrupted spirits to the rest of the Digimon Frontier cast.
Alright. This should be good.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and please do like and subscribe and ring that bell if you want to see more Dark Digivolution videos. This video has required 5 artists to do 4 original art pieces each, resulting in 20 pieces of art. We're going to be corrupting the human and beast spirits of fire, light, ice, wind, and thunder. I focused on these because they are kind of the main element for each of the Frontier kids, and since there was only one element of Koichi, darkness, that got corrupted, I figured it made more sense if we just corrupted one of each of the other kids. Plus, like I say, this took 20 pieces of art. There just wasn't time or, frankly, budgets to do the other spirits, but if you do want to see earth, wood, water, and steel in videos, I definitely plan to do that, just not this month.
I mean, technically speaking, you won't really need to see those corrupted, because they were the antagonists of Frontier, so they're kind of already corrupted, in my opinion.
So, without further ado, let's begin with Tommy's corrupted ice spirits, who were commissioned by All Trade, aka Morally Gary. And this human spirit of ice that you can see here gives birth to the corrupted hybrid Chenumon. Chenumon, as its name implies, comes from the Chenu, mythological creatures, evil man-eating ice giants of northern.
I'll admit, this is already awesome. That legend. This is amazing. Oh wait,
a Chenu was once a human being who either became possessed by an evil spirit or committed a terrible crime, especially cannibalism.
Like yeah, literally a Wendigo. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, we're back with the Wendigo spirit.
Especially cannibalism or not giving food to someone in desperate need of food, causing their heart to turn to ice, which I think makes a perfect reference point for a corrupted human spirit, but specifically, of course, for Tommy and his spirit of ice. I especially like as Tommy's normal human spirit, Chakmon, is this little cute snow bear, his corrupted ice spirit becoming a large, twisted ice humanoid monster, but with a worn pelt of a Grismon, the de facto Bearmon rookie, which is actually a possible line on Chakmon's recently announced dim card, acting as its allusions to the more bestial side of the Chenu, as well as cementing Chenumon in Chakmon's evolution family. Moving over to the corrupted beast spirit, the icy monster All Trade created is Draugmon. Draugmon takes its name from the Ijarak of Inuit mythology, a shape-shifting human caribou hybrid born when people who ventured too far from home became lost between worlds. Very similar to a human from the real world straying into the digital world. The Ijarak hunts and kidnaps people, only letting the kidnapped person find their way home if children can convince it to do so. I love how bestial and creepy this art is, but I also love that All Trade managed to keep the humanity inside this beast. It looks so good alongside Chenumon and works super well as part of Tommy's corrupted spirits.
I mean, still, that was awesome. Oh, I didn't see an ad was coming.
We're in their corner.
Well, before we move on to the win, I just want to say that ice spirit was definitely very awesome. I was about to make a pun saying that was very cool, but let's just say, now that was a Windamon. A Wendigomon.
Moving over to Zoe, we're going to be corrupting those fairies and birds, and we're beginning with the corrupted human spirits of wind, which will lead to Zoe becoming Kamaimon, drawn by Kapni. I gave Kapni the jumping off point of evil pixies and the wind yokai Kamaitachi that rides on dust devils in the Japanese Alps, working in groups of 3s to attack people, but ultimately leaving no trace of wounds, a devious type of attack. I just really adore this design, feeling like an excellent dark inverse to Kazemon, with
Yeah,
the
even I
broken
gotta go
fairy
with that.
wings. But the extra details I like are the Spirit of Wind insignia on the shoulder pad and the vulture-like headpiece, which
It
ties into
kind
the
of
Kamai
is like a
Tachi's
dark
vulture-like
Valkyrie.
attacks. And for our corrupted beast Spirit of Wind, who captly
Ooh.
took inspiration from the red-bearded vulture and European dragons, to
I
make
was
what I
thinking
have
it was gonna
called
be a Harpy.
Draugmon. This dark side to
Oh,
Shatumon
that's
I
really
think
cool.
works excellently, really doubling down on the bird aesthetics of Shatumon, but stripping almost all of its humanity,
Like it
leaving
should.
behind this terrifying carrion bird dragon. You can
Now
also
that
definitely
is
see how it's
awesome.
related to Kamaimon too, with the same chest piece and Wind Spirit insignia shoulder pads, but
It's really
now
cool.
fully given into the monstrous beast inside it. I also like
I
how it has
like
a
it.
similar design trajectory as Duskmon and Velgamon, who of course inspired this
Nice.
video. Now it's time for my fellow bug lover and fellow big boy JP.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have some
Thunder.
fun with his corrupted human spirits.
Oh, come on.
To
Shut up. Alright, pause and pause. And we're back.
mission dry for this one and told him given
Ooh.
Beetlemon looks so much like Kamen Riders such as Gattack, we had to base the human spirit on Kamen Riders such as another Agito.
makes-
And so we
Whoa,
arrived at Kuro Kabumon. Its name of course
Alright, I'm gonna say this right now. That was skipping for me as well, so no idea what was going on. But this is awesome art. Like, look at that. It's got spines everywhere.
coming from Kuro, meaning dark or black, and Kabu coming from Kabuto Mushi. The same type of
Oh.
rhinoceros beetle Kabuterimon gets its name from, but
So
Kabuto
it's
also
literally
meaning
a
a type
dark
of helmet
beetle.
worn by various types of Japanese soldiers, but notably the samurai, which also
Alright,
heavily
cool.
influenced this Digimon's design. For an arm, it has a weapon inspired by the
Nice.
Kusarigama, and a scorpion stinger that he can whip around and extend, stunning whoever
really
it hits
cool.
with blackout lightning. Scorpions are often used as dark riders in Kamen Rider, but this idea
Very
also
neat.
stems from Scorpiomon, who was a major
yeah.
inspiration
I
for our
remember
corrupted
you.
beast Spirit of Thunder, who I have named Raijumon, and it looks like this. Raijumon is based as Scorpiomon,
nice.
as Scorpiomon somewhat feels like a bug equivalent to Skull Greymon.
This actually
Obviously,
is
Scorpions
very
are
cool.
arachnids, and JP's Digimon are more bug and beetle themed,
Well,
but in the world
yeah,
of Digimon, Scorpions and beetles and bugs and stuff are all
Yeah.
in basically the same field,
Yeah,
or at least the
same
same
family.
wheelhouse of evolution.
Yeah.
Scorpiomon also has an attack called
family.
Blackout, which, well, the absence of electricity is a blackout, which
Huh.
ironically can
Alright.
often be caused by thunderstorms. It just
Oh,
sounded too
yeah.
perfect
Makes
not
sense.
to use. Electricity used not as a source of energy, but as a stunner, a tool of assassination. Raijumon gets its name from Raiju, the Thunder Beast, but actually looks pretty similar
Oh,
to.
yeah.
But Raiju
Does
actually has
kinda
been
look
said
like
to
a
resemble
scorpion.
dozens of different animals. It's a companion to Raijin the Thunder God, and according to
Oh, yeah,
legend,
that would
one
make
stormy
sense.
night, the samurai Tachibana Dosetsu was taking shelter. He drew his sword just in time when the lightning bolt was about to strike. The clash between his sword and the lightning-adorned Raiju smoked up the environment. Once the smoke cleared, the samurai saw a dead Raiju on the ground.
Oh.
Raiju dying in the legend, adding to this kind of like corrupted and skull theme we've got going on
So it
here.
makes
But
sense
in
for it to be
addition to
kind of
Scorpiomon,
undead.
Dry also took inspiration from ancient Beatmon, which you can see much more prominently in the bottom half of this design. But
Oh yeah, I could see that. Oh damn it, another
Disney
ad.
Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus
That's
now
screw it.
bundled
Just a
together.
couple
The greatest
seconds.
stories and characters.
And here we go.
I wasn't done there, as I also got him to design the corrupted spirits of light. Starting with the corrupted
Oh.
human spirit of light, which
Whoa.
became Draugmon. Dry's thought process
Look
was the
at that.
balance of light and darkness in Koichi and Koji, Wolfmon
This
and
is
Loemon.
amazing.
While Wolfmon has two swords, Loemon has a shield and a lance. However, the corrupted
Nice.
darkness, Duskmon, uses two swords. Logically, corrupted light
Very
should then
nice.
use a shield and lance. If the whole deal with the light spirit is speed and agility, an unstoppable force, its
Another
corrupted
use of
version should
spine
be
on
the
the
opposite.
shield.
A heavy tank which complements the shield it wears nicely. An
Alright.
immovable object. And if the corrupted beast spirit of darkness goes from a lion to a crow, then the light spirit should
Okay.
be far from a wolf. Here we get this tanky, defensive, corrupted spirit, a juggernaut inspired by corrupted paladins, and Skull Bellucimon and Rhino skeletons. I gave it the name Draugmon to reference Garurumon and Velgamon's name etymologies, both being
This is
from
actually
Norse
really
mythology.
cool.
And
Nice
this
work,
then
guys.
leads us nicely to the other Norse-named corrupted beast spirit of light, who I have dubbed Fenrirmon. I named it
Oh,
Fenrirmon
Fenrir.
because
Yeah,
Fenrir
okay.
is a notable quadruped in Norse mythology, the son of the god Loki and the giantess Angerboda. I've definitely pronounced that wrong. The gods of Asgard even raising
I actually kind of like having the use of Fenrir here, especially since Fenrir is meant to be, that's either the wolf that wants to eat the sun or the wolf that wants to eat the moon. Either way, it wants to consume some form of light, and once it does, that is meant to start the, well, Ragnarok.
Fenrir to make sure he didn't wreak havoc across the 9 worlds, but they failed. He grew quickly and caused so much chaos that they decided to chain him up. But the design for Fenrirmon was actually based on what I believe might be Garurumon's Skull Greymon equivalent. As I covered in my Digimon Adventure Dark Evolutions video, which springboarded this whole video series, there is a card above me right now, because I just think Skull Bellucimon would work so well alongside Skull Greymon. Skull Bellucimon is based on the Bellucitherium, an ancient rhinoceros-like animal, which while Skull Bellucimon doesn't reflect that aspect that much, Bellucimon itself does. Fenrirmon then echoing the specific aesthetic of the Dark Digivolution Skull Greymon, as well as other Skull Digimon like Skull Bellucimon and Skull Mammon. I gave it the name Fenrirmon because there's really no rhino or Bellucitherium equivalent in Norse mythology, so I just wanted to base it on something Norse, and I guess the most prominent quadrupedal kind of like destructive force in Norse mythology is Fenrir. Plus, I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan. But I do feel like this horned beast down on all fours does feel like a nice parallel to the son of Loki. Loki himself often depicted as wearing horns. But some of Drive's design was also inspired by the biblical Behemoth, so we could definitely call it Behemothmon instead. And finally, the corrupted flame spirits designed by HLR Art. We begin with the human spirits of flame, which will become Cherufemon. HLR took loose inspiration from the Cherufi, a kind of evil creature made of lava from the Mapuche mythology of Chile, which is one of the native groups from where HLR is actually from. I am a huge fan of artists folding in their own culture, history, and traditions into their art pieces, and it's something I'd like to do a lot more of going forward. HLR made the lava and fire green to borrow some of the evil aesthetics from famous villains like Maleficent, and its armor is made of obsidian. I absolutely adore how different this corrupted spirit feels from a Gunimon. Instead of the noble armored protector you can trust, we get this oozing, disgusting green lava creature who you would not want to get anywhere near. It almost looks radioactive or biohazardous in addition to its boiling lava. The etymology I think also works great, as a Gunimon or Agnimon's name comes from the Hindu and Vedic god of fire as well as the guardian of humanity, and so in turn Cherufemon gets to have its etymology come from Mapuche or Chilean mythology. And moving over to our corrupted beast spirit of flame, we have Moitatamon. HLR based this of course on the Moitata, a fire serpent from Guarani mythology from the Amazon region. It's like a guardian of the forest and can and will kill anyone that damages the forest. I adore how we get an original type of creature here for Tokoya's corrupted beast spirit. It feels.
By the way, is anyone else getting kind of the that flame dragon vibe from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time? Like, this feels like the creature you would fight in the mountain area, Death Mountain. I forget its name. Valero? It's V something.
Was also so in line with something like Skull Greymon or Skull Bellucimon, just like Fenrirmon and the others. Moitatamon is just pure distilled beast. It's incredible to think a human could even become so corrupted as to be it. And it of course is getting its name again from a culture's mythology, which feels very true to the naming conventions of Frontier. HLR also made a blue variant saying, and I quote, "In my head, a natural coloured fire is evil and corrupted. I guess it comes from watching Azula's blue fire bending in Avatar."
Yeah,
so there's the Avatar reference. I've never watched Avatar, I'm so sorry.
What's wrong with you?
You need to watch
I've seen the Blue People one, I've just not seen the anime. You guys watching Moon Knight? Well, anyway, that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed these corrupted Digimon Frontier spirits. It was so much fun getting all these artists together to do this, and I loved seeing how each of them brought their own ideas to the table, influenced by cultures they were either part of or inspired by. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. I guess it's Savers Dark Digivolutions next, huh? Before we go, I'd like to give a huge thanks to my sovereign ZDK14 and all my other channel members who have made this video possible with their hard-earned money, including my Digi-Destined, Gekaluchi, Nightshade J, Cole Taku, Kenya Kubiaki.
Well, let's actually go ahead and just pause that though and say this has been Fox Reacts. So, I want y'all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support the original creator and all they do. And I'll see all of you folks in the next video. So, have a good one.